Hello and welcome again to the My Unity 5 Terrain series. This is kind of a continuation off of our last one, so this is the fourth video. The last time we were talking about height maps and how to kind of form your terrains. So there's another way of doing this. In my particular story, because of the way the game story is written out, this section here needs to be farmable, for instance, on this. Then there needs to be a mountain range and desert, because it's actually important to the story. There are some people, however, that write their story after they have made the terrain. That way they already have kind of set rules. They can just look here and something happens here or can't happen here because of the way the landscape is set up. So for those of you that will not be using a predefined story but are going to make their land and stuff first, there's a way of doing this kind of randomly. First I'm going to hide these. I'm going to hide my last one here with the lands one. And as you can see, this is still selected. If it's not selected, for instance, this is part of why we saved our all land. I can come back here, select, and because we want the land selected, I just go select inverse. Now all the land is selected. I'm going to put this back on. It's just easier for me to see. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a new layer. Now there's nothing on this layer. It's just a blank, not even a background color to it. And what I've got here is the base color of the height that I want the land to start at, which is this color here. Now if you don't have that, basically I can just come up here onto this little eyedropper, click it, and then click on that color, and it'll actually put it as your primary color here first. However, I want mine reversed because I want white to be the highest part on my map. And right now I want my lowest to just be as low as my main land here. So I have these selected. I'm on my new layer. If I go to filter and I go to render, sorry about that, I had a slight interruption going on. Anyways, if I go up here to filter, render, and clouds, it's going to make clouds just like it did last time. Which there's not really enough differences in this to help a whole lot with you making more random shapes and heights and things like this. So what you want to do, just as I mean, you can obviously work it in like we did last time. However, what you may want to do is something a little different. I'm going to undo cloud so this is blank again, just so I can show you something. We can go down to filter, render, and if I click on difference clouds, I'm going to get this. The reason is all of this layer is empty. Simple enough. So I'm going to flip this so that I have my base color here. Make sure I have that selected. And I am going to select my paint. I'm going to get rid of that for a moment so I can see where I've painted. And there we go. All of it's colored in. We've got a new base again. But this time it's on layer 2. Now I can come up here and I can go to render difference cloud. And occasionally on my computer it doesn't make a difference cloud, it'll just make the normal cloud. So I normally have to do it once or twice for some reason on my computer. And that's a lot more of a difference cloud. But I don't really like that one, so I'm gonna keep searching until I find something that I like. It's kind of interesting. Let's do this one. Now you'll see these colors when you do a difference cloud unfortunately goes lighter than the color I've selected. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come up to Image, Adjustment, and go to Contrast. Now I'm going to move my contrast all the way over to one side and my brightness over quite a ways. It's 2. You can kind of fill that one out. Click OK. Now I'm going to come over to Image again, Adjustments, and I'm going to go to Replace Color. Now this is fuzziness. I'll show you kind of what that does, which isn't a whole lot in what we're dealing with. I select Image just so it's easier. Now first I'm selecting a color. So I come down. By clicking on this it gives me my eyedropper when I move off to the side. I'm going to select the darkest color we've got here. Okay, and now I'm going to replace it. And I should have put that there. That's okay. But I can sit here and let's take a nice light grayish color. For some reason that's blue. Not quite what I was looking for. Right there. That looks like should be pretty close. Okay. It's okay if I do this if you don't quite have the color. What I'm going to do real fast is I'm going to select my land. We already have that color. I'm going to go to my white color here and select this. Now the reason for that is I'm going to come back to my layer. I'm going to hit my image again, adjustments, go down to the replace color. Now this color, nope, almost messed it up. Almost messed it up. Flip this so the black is on top. Now try image, adjustments, replace color. And I've got that dark color selected. However, this one, I'm going to change back to my base color. And you can play with this a little, moving it up and down. You can also adjust the fuzziness. And you see how that changes things in there. Well, black isn't the color that I had wanted, so I'm going to turn my fuzziness up and get rid of a whole lot of that super dark color. Hit OK. Now I've flipped this over because this is what I wanted for my base color anyway. I come up to Paint. I've got my opacity low again. Another thing I should have pointed out in the last one is what brush I have it on. You have this solid round brush, and then you have the one that kind of tapers off on the edges or feathers out. So now that I've done this, I can come over the top. For speed's sake, I'm going to boost my opacity up. But I come over the top of where my little, I don't know what you'd call those, wrinkles. I mean, they almost look like rivers or roads. So I just come through and may go over it a couple times to make sure I get it all hidden well. Like in this case, I'm just going to do this whole section. This looks like it could come together pretty well right there. Make a little channel through. And I keep doing this process because when you made the difference map and you boosted it up like that, you can now see these very, very defined different heights, which is kind of what you're looking for. I mean, you can go through, it's completely random, and in the end you can get a pretty nice looking result. So just go through, play with that, and you can get a pretty random, pretty decent looking terrain. So anyways, there's that part for you. However, I am going to go back to the one I was using. Not nearly as impressive looking, I know, but that's okay. I'm going to come down onto this, onto my height map background, and I'm going to hold Control and press oops. Okay. Alright. So anyways, I was going to duplicate the layer anyway. That's fine. There's copy. I'm going to move it up right under my under my lands 1. I'm just going to hide these because they don't really matter right now. And what I'm going to do is right click to bring up my menus, and I'm going to merge down, and that's just going to merge this one to the one below it. Now the reason for this is I still am going to have some pretty cliff looking things just because of the differences in depths. So one of the ways I can handle this, if anyone knows a different way of handling this, please let me know, is go to your patch tool. It might be, well, I'll show you all the little things here. There's the healing brush and spot healing. Also your red eye tools if you're doing photographs. But we want the patch tool. Now the thing about the patch tool is it does this really nifty thing. First I'm going to start here, and I'm going to stay pretty close to my shorelines. Doesn't have to be exact. Then I'm going to bring it out, but I'm going to bring it out a ways away from the island and connect it. Now one thing you're going to have to be careful of, which I should have been paying more attention when I actually did this part, was once you've done this, you need to drag it onto the color that you want it to blend in with. So I'll let go of that, and you can see how that has tapered my main land section down and out into this color. And this is really simple because it's kind of what this tool is designed for. You know, in this section I probably won't do it because I have mountains around this, so that very well may be a cliff. However, starting, say, in here, I can come around. This doesn't have to be a big thing. I'm going to round this out. And it doesn't have to be perfectly round, obviously. And I'm going to drag this, in my case, I'm dragging it over here because I've got room to. And there you go. Now occasionally you miss a little spot just like I did here. The easiest way to do that is you simply take your little tool, circle it, and drag it out. And there you go. So continue to do this on the sections where you don't want cliffs. Like this area I might want as a cliff. Maybe I'll flatten this part out and make this a dock for a ship or something. But you just go through and you do this to the areas where you want the land to slope more into your ocean or lakes or whatever. Now in this case I have some small areas which are a little harder to deal with, but not much. It just means that I have to use a bigger space, or a smaller space that I can line things up with. You'll see, especially like right in a section like that, gets a little harder. Now it's okay to just drag that down, but you see how this is close. You do the same thing and go ahead and drag clear over into the gray in the other part of it, because you've got to remember it's an ocean bottom. All of it's connected, not all of it's going to be drop-offs. You know, it doesn't have to go to absolute bottom before it comes up. So we'll do that again. And these kind of look like one island, but really in the end it won't look like that in-game. So you just keep going around, and once you've completed that part, you've got most of your height map done. So one other thing real quick to remember is you can also have it so it slopes a little, but not a lot. And you just do that. You know, this is a much steeper curve down into the ocean when I have it set this way, because it's simply, I didn't give it as much room as this. So you can by changing how far away from the land you make your outline here, the more subtle it is going into the ocean. Anyways, that kind of concludes the part here on what we can do with a height map through Photoshop. So our next section will actually be getting this into Unity. Anyways, I hope to talk to you guys later, and let me know if you have any ideas for videos. It doesn't matter much if it's doing stuff like this or if it's menus or scripting or whatever. If you have any ideas or something that would help you out, leave me a message and I'll see what I can do to help you. Anyways, thanks, and I'll catch you later.